Hey there, comic book fans. I am back from the comic shop again today. Except that the Image comics didn't make it into my comic shop this week. So this week's Image comics, I'm going to have to pick up next week. But I still picked a couple things up off the shelf. Got one thing on my pull list. Including, I picked up a graphic novel off the shelf. Plus, I want to show you a few other things I got recently that I don't think I've shown you before. But the first thing, this was actually on my pull list, the one thing, my one Marvel comic, which is Amazing Spider-Man 121 Facsimile Edition, which comes on the day that we get the bad news that John Romita Sr. has died at age 93. That makes me sad. It's, of course, all over social media. Seen it all over my feeds and Twitter and Facebook and everything else. And I used to work with John when I was at Marvel from like 1990 to 1996. I think he was there with me. Great guy. He's one of those guys who you won't find many people to say a bad word about John. Let's see. Was he the... John did the inking on this one. Gil Kane, artist, and John Romita was the inker. So I just wanted to open up with that book, just because I got it today and heard John Romita's died, which makes me real sad. But speaking of Gil Kane, we'll show you my top of the printer books. This is Gil Kane right here. What If number 3. There's a little signature down there that says K and S, which means Gil Kane and Joe Sinnott. I always liked this cover. Kind of, them all turning their backs on Iron Man as the Hulk and Submariner come to kick his ass. And then we got a Mike Gustovich Justice Machine there. There's his signature there with an M and a G stylized. I always liked the Justice Machine. The original one that was magazine size that came out in like 81 or 82 was like the first indie book I ever bought when... a local comic shop opened near me when I was 15 in 1981. So I was at a soft spot for them. Plus, Mike Gustovich made some nice art in this book. But there were the two that were on top of my printer that I could look at all week. There's John Romita. And let's see, what did I pick up off the shelves? This is Deep Cuts number 2. I just read a good review of this book. It's, who is it? Kyle Higgins and Joe Clark, I think, are the writers. And it's a comic about stuff. I don't think that the review said each issue stands on its own, and this one's about jazz music or something. So I figured I'd give it a read. Was it Kyle Higgins, Joe Clark, Helena Maselis, Igor Monti, and Hassan Atsami Elahu. There's all the names over there. So I was like, you know what? It's square bound, which is a format I never really liked. But what was this? $6? $6. I figured I'd give it a try just because, don't gotta... Even though, well, this wasn't the one that blew my budget. We'll show you that one in a minute. But, because I don't have to pick up my stuff from this week next week. So, and then the other one I picked off of the shelf was... What is this? Xeno? Is that an O at the end? Another $6 one from Oni Press. Who's doing this one? The covers by Matt Lesniewski, Rico Real. I don't know which cover I got. Ward and Sheeran. I liked this cover. I like the those weird people in the vending machine. I don't know what. I don't know what this is. I just picked it up and flipped through it and liked the artwork. So I was like, you know what? Got nothing else this week, so I'll pick it up. Is the name Xeno? Xino. So that is Xeno. Again, no idea what it is, but liked the covers, liked the artwork. And here's the one that blew my budget because it was $18? $17. Hauntology by Jeremy Juan. This one has been on the shelf. I've seen this one the last few weeks. And I'm a story collection by Jeremy Juan. I remember I like his stuff in general. So I figured, you know what? Let's pick it up. And like I said, I've had my eye on it for a few weeks, but I never had an extra $17. Class of 1984. Hey, that's my class. So I never had a few extra dollars. So this week I was like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. So I blow my budget because I won't have this money to buy the comics I should have bought this week, next week. But you know what? I'll make do. I'm not that broke. I can come up with an extra $17. There you go. What does it say? From creatures of the night to even more terrifying creatures of the day. Hauntology is an anxiety-inducing collection of 28 short stories and vignettes from the mind of Jeremy Huon, the writer and artist behind The Beauty, The Realm, The Red Mother, The Approach, and other nightmarish landscapes. Red Mother, I think, was my favorite of those. So he just wrote Red Mother. There was another artist. So we'll give that one a look. Now let me give you a look at a few things that I got recently, including something from a fellow YouTuber. First issue Canon, the magazine for readers of fine comics. So this is by, what's his name, Colin Blanchett, who goes by Loading the Canon on YouTube and Twitter and other social media stuff. I just saw, he put out this fanzine. It's got a $10 price tag. I think it cost like $5 to mail it to me. And here is Comic Crack, another YouTuber, doing an article in this. I think he's doing the handwritten ones, Comic Crack. So I figured I'd give it a read. Haven't read it yet. Here's some Love and Rockets stuff in here. Oh, something on the back. I don't know what that... But if you want to get a copy, you can look up Loading the Canon on Twitter. Let me show you all his contact stuff in it. I think I just PayPal'd them the money through a link and got it. So I got that to read. Then let me show you a couple of things that my sister gifted me, I think last month. I don't think I showed them here. I think it was these two. Destroy All Monsters and Friend of the Devil, Reckless book. I now have all 5 of the Reckless books. I haven't been buying these as they come out, but I've been reading them. I've been reading them on Hoopla as they come out and putting them on my Amazon wish list. So I think all 5 of them I've eventually got for birthdays and Christmases and stuff. My sister just wanted to buy me some presents for helping her out on some stuff. So she got me those 2. And she also got me this one, Mavericks and Lunatics, Icons of Underground Comics. I don't know if you're familiar with these books. I love these. They're Drew Friedman does these portraits. There's 2 of them called Heroes of the Comics, Volume 1 and 2. This is Hero, of the Underground Comics. So, and there's these wonderful Drew Friedman portraits. And then there's a little biography of them right there. And I really like these books. The other 2 I must have read 2 or 3 times a piece, just because they're so much fun to go. Not that there's a lot of reading in them, because there's only this one paragraph about it, but I just like the paragraph being concise and telling you their place in history. And I love these Drew Friedman portraits, which are somewhere between caricature and portraiture. He's got his own sort of I actually like this style a lot too. If you look up close, you can see he's got a lot of, it's almost pointillist, a Seurat style, because he's got lots of little patches of grayscale, different grays. You can really see it in her shirt there. You can see the texture. And I've always kind of liked Drew Friedman, but I was never fond of that pointillist little tiny dot style he had, where he used little ink dots. This is sort of the same thing, but gives a much different look, which I really like. And I just been thoroughly enjoying, despite the fact that they said, I guess there was some sort of typo in this one. I just happened to notice that I think it was, who was it? Jeff Jones. They mentioned he worked for Warren's Epic Illustrated, and I went, Marvel's Epic Illustrated, but that was just a thing that jumped out at me. But know what's weird about this? I brought out a hero. This is Drew Friedman's Heroes of the Comics, which is, there's 2 volumes of this. They're both good. For some reason, the Underground one is slightly smaller. I wonder why that is. It's like, just why? They don't match up on the shelf with the Underground one being slightly smaller. Let's see, this one's $35. They're both $35. So why smaller for $35? I don't know. But great. I really, this might be my favorite Drew Friedman stuff. I just love the portraits and I love the little bios that go with it. All right. Let me show you a little bit of what I got back here. What did I do? Look, these two kind of match up too, because there's kind of like figures amongst a whole bunch of weird mechanical dream-like stuff. Except this issue 191 has more than one figure. It's got some string. It got a half face, another face, and two faces. I'm not sure. Once again, I'm enjoying integrating these new markers that I got into the color, because I have so many different colors in this one that I'm just having a lot of fun working with them. I think I spent a lot of time picking which new markers I was going to get from these from the Blick and the Artfinity set. And I spent a lot of time choosing which ones I wanted, which are the right colors, which color. And I'm like, wow, I think I did a good job choosing the colors. Sometimes you don't know. Sometimes you like, but I think these new colors have really have reinvigorated me with these Dreams of Things covers. Now I just have to. I've got up to 197 drawn. Now I have to get 200 drawn. I want to get that one in. You know what I'm going to do for 200 down, because I'm at 191. I'm approaching 200. All right, so there you go. First issue of the Canon. And you guys have a good week out there.